And a very good Monday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again. The Oh, the Pain podcast. There's a lot of that. It is Monday, June 2nd. Oh, my God. It's actually getting nice out. I can't take it. 2025. The Joe Benigno, the Pain podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company. Anita Discount Tire and Manscaped. All right. First of all, what a pain in the ass it was to get this up today. These computers, technology is brutal. I really hope that when the computers take over, then I'm dead. Okay, hopefully. Because they will take over someday. There'll be that computer that says, no, we're going to do this, not that. So let's hope I miss on that. Now, I can't do that. Right, exactly. Now, today is June 2nd. It is the 32-year anniversary of the Charles Smith Memorial. And I got a message to my good buddy, Mike Vaccaro. It's not the Charles Smith game. Okay, Mike, and I'm going to call him later and give him a hard time about it. It's the Charles Smith Memorial. As a matter of fact, they should put a statue outside Madison Square Garden depicting Smith going up with Jordan on one side, Horace Grant on the other side, maybe B.J. Armstrong right here as he continues to miss those shots because he was never fouled. Of course, he was never. But it is the 32-year anniversary of that game. And to me, it remains the worst loss in the history of the Knicks. It is the poster child for the last 40 years of Knick playoff futility, okay? And the Knicks are now will be going on their 53rd consecutive year without an NBA title. And, of course, the Knicks went down in flames to the Indiana Pacers in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Saturday night. And the bottom line is they lost this series in Game 1. I mean, there's just no way around it. And that Game 1, where the Knicks blew a 14-point lead with 3 minutes to go to, in essence, really lose the series, is probably now moved into the number 2 slot behind the Charles Smith Memorial game as the worst loss in the history of the franchise. And it's a disaster. It really, there's no other way to say it. And you knew they were dead after they lost that game. The idea, especially after they lost 2 games at home, the idea that they were coming back to win this series was never a reality. I don't care that they won Game 3 in Indy or that they won Game 5 at home. It was never a reality. Never. The Knicks have never won a playoff series when they lost Game 1 at home, and I think it's 0-7 now. That continues. They never have, and they probably never will. But nevertheless, so the season is over, the Knicks lose, right? And all I'm hearing now is, well, what do we do now? What moves do we make? First of all, let's establish this. If the Knicks are going to move on in the East, maybe they have to beat the Indiana Pacers. Do you think maybe? Indiana beat them last year in 7. Indiana beat them this year in 6. They're the better team. They're better. And if you're going to beat the Pacers, it's not about trading Karl Anthony Towns for Giannis. Okay, that's the answer, right? No, it's not. And they should have never made that trade to begin with. You can't tell me the Knicks weren't a better team with Randall and DiVincenzo than they are with Towns because they got more guys. You subtracted a key guy by trading those 2 for the 1, right? And Towns has had, he has good moments, bad moments. He's okay. Is he as good as he's cracked up to be? I don't think he is. He's terrible defensively, right? Too many times he disappears in games. It seems like he plays better when Brunson's not on the floor, So let's go get Giannis now. As far as that goes, didn't Indiana whack the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 in the opening round? If you want to beat Indiana, you got to get deeper. You can't just go, well, we'll trade this guy for this guy, and that's going to make us better. No, that's not happening. If you're going to beat the Pacers, you got to get more guys, okay? There's no other way to say it. You got to get more guys. They go 10 deep. You're not beating the Pacers, and in all due respect to DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet, who, gave you good minutes coming off the bench. It took Thibodeau 3 games to go to those guys. Or guys like Cam Payne. You're not beating Indiana when these are the guys you got coming off the bench. Let's be honest about it. As this thing continues to go back and forth and freeze sometimes on me. Just want to let you know that. A little bit. It's going now. But what a pain in the ass. Now we have occasionally this is freezing on me. This is the new thing that's happening with this thing now. Well, it's still going. Like, I guess you could still hear me, but occasionally, like, my picture will freeze as it continues to go. Technology sucks. I mean, let's be honest. Come on. You can't tell me the world wasn't better 40 years ago than it is now. I mean, I'm sorry. All this crap, AI, this, that, whatever. We're going now. We're all right. We're fine. But let's get back to the Knicks. You don't want to hear me complain about technology, which, as I said, sucks. But let's get back to the Knicks again. So if you're going to beat Indiana, you got to get more guys, right? I mean, to me, that's the answer. And I doubt Minnesota is going to give us Randall and DiVincenzo now back for Towns. I doubt they're making that deal. Although if I'm the Knicks, I got to find a way. I got to find a way to get Dante DiVincenzo back here, don't I? He's the perfect guy to come off the bench. And then we need more guys after that. We don't need Giannis. I've even heard Kevin Durant's name. I want nothing to do with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, when he's been the lead guy on a team, his teams have won nothing. He went to the NBA Finals once with Oklahoma City 100 years ago, right? And didn't win. He had to team up with with Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson to win a couple of championships, right? Come on. Give me a break, Kevin Durant. How'd that work out in Brooklyn? Stop. And I don't want Giannis. I really don't. I want more guys. Let's go out and make another deal, okay? Look, this franchise has not won in 52 going on 53 years. I doubt they'll ever win as long as I'm living. But my teams don't win. I mean, let's be honest about it. And no franchise has given you more brutal losses than the Knicks have. And they did it again. And in this era, we'll call it the Tom Thibodeau era. We'll call it that. The Knicks have been to the playoffs 4 times in 5 years. 3 of the 4 years that they've been to the playoffs, they've lost game 1 at home in a series and went on to lose a series against Atlanta in 21, against Miami in 23, and now this year against the Pacers, right? 3 times. So, you know what? Now, I'm not knocking Thibodeau. I like Thibodeau. He's been a very good coach. All these people that want to dump Thibodeau, well, this team was, as I say over and over, was in the abyss for a million years. I mean, one crappy coach after another, whether it was Don Chaney or Lenny Wilkins or Isaiah Thomas or Larry Brown or Jeff Hornacek or Derek Fisher or David Fizdale, whatever the hell his name is, right? One crappy coach after another. The only decent one was Mike Woodson in that time. He was decent. And Phil Jackson couldn't wait to get rid of him. And what a disaster Phil Jackson was as well as the GM of his team. He really wanted no part of it. He just came here because Dolan gave him a ton of money. And he spent half of his time in L.A. anyway. What a joke that was. So I don't want to get rid of Thibodeau. I really don't. Who are you bringing in here? Who's going to be, if you get rid of Thibodeau, who's the coach? Tell me who that is. Who are you bringing in? Jay Wright? Does Jay Wright really want to coach this team? I mean, all his former Nova guys, but does he want to be an NBA coach? Why would he want that? Tell me. And just because you were a good coach in college doesn't mean you're going to be a good NBA coach, right? I mean, I heard Danny Hurley's name. He turned down the Laker job. Why the hell would he want this job? Danny Hurley's at one of the premier school basketball programs in college basketball at UConn. He just won 2 straight national championships. You think this guy wants to come to the NBA? Why the hell would he want to do that? Maybe the NIL money, maybe that'll eventually say, I can't take it anymore. That could be. You never know with the disaster that college sports is now with all of that going on. But the Knicks got to get deeper. They got to get deeper. Indiana's better. They come in waves at you. That's really the story. And until you get deeper, you're not beating this team. They were built to beat Boston. Well, you beat Boston. And Boston, where are they going? Jason Tatum is out probably for the full year next year. They're not going to be any good next year, right? Are they? I don't think so. What are they going to be? The Pistons are a team on the rise, but still, the Knicks are better than Detroit. We know that. They took care of business against them. I don't think the Pistons, they're on the rise, but they're not there yet. Philadelphia's a fraud. Joel Embiid's hurt all the time. Give me a break, right? The only team there, Milwaukee, please. The only team is Indiana. Cleveland, they're the biggest fraud of all time. The Cleveland Cavaliers, right? They won 64 games and they got whacked by the Pacers. You have to beat Indiana. And if you're going to beat Indiana, you got to get deeper. You don't get rid of the coach. You don't trade Towns for Giannis. And you think Milwaukee's going to give the Knicks Giannis straight up for Towns? You're out of your mind there, too. What else are the Knicks going to have to give him? Anunoby? Bridges? What? Tell me. What? You want to do that? I don't want to do that. I mean, come on. I mean, it really, Josh Hart. You ready to trade Josh Hart and Carl Towns for Giannis? I'm not. That's just subtracting guys again. So this team's got a long way to go. And by the way, and I don't dislike Mayor Adams. I really don't. I got he got hosed in a lot of ways. We won't get into all that. Even though he's probably going to be gone. I would put money on it. Andrew Cuomo's the next mayor of New York, but whatever. Whether you like that or not. I mean, but whatever. But how stupid was it for Adams to put these street names up with the Knicks after they beat the Celtics when they still were 8 wins short of winning the title? I mean, come on. You going to take them down now? I mean, give me a break. So the Knicks' 52 years of futility continues. They continue to show you one brutal playoff loss after another, as Game 1 of the series against Indiana proves, right? And on the anniversary 32 years ago of the Charles Smith Memorial, it's only fitting that the Knicks are done again. So there you go. And look, believe me, I don't think the Knicks are ever winning a title. Like I said, my teams don't win championships, right? We've been through this. The Jets are going on, 56 years, 57, whatever the hell it is. I'm losing count, right? The Knicks are going on 53. The Mets are at 39. And who's the other one that we're missing? The Rangers are going on 31, right? I mean, come on. And the one team I do have hope for is the Mets. They swept the the crummy Rockies this weekend. How bad are the Rockies? 9 wins? 9 wins. What's the record? 9-55? Something like that. Oh, my God. They've lost, I don't know how many straight series in a row. 30 straight series? Something along those lines? I mean, it's just amazing. The Mets took care of business against them. And maybe Juan Soto's finally getting off the snide. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the answer for the Knicks is not firing Tom Thibodeau. The answer for the Knicks is not trading for Giannis. The answer for the Knicks is getting more players. And as I said, if they can find a way to get Dante DiVincenzo back from Minnesota, that would be a good start. That would be a good start. Because the team they have to beat is not the Celtics. It's not the Pistons. It's not the Bucks. It's not the Cavaliers. It's Indiana, who, by the way, has now beaten the Knicks the last 4 times they played them in the playoffs: in the 2000 Conference Finals, in the 2013 Eastern Conference Semifinals, in last year's Eastern Conference Semifinals, and in this year's Conference Finals. So the Knicks have now lost 4 consecutive playoff series to Indiana. Maybe it's time we find a way to beat them. How about that? Message to Leon Rose. This is the team you have to beat, and trading for Giannis is not the answer, okay? Now, if you could get Giannis without having to give up really anything for him, without having to give up Karl Anthony Towns or Anunoby or Josh Hart or any of those kind of guys, okay, he's another guy, right? He's another guy. But if you got to give up some serious stuff to get him, it's not happening. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, please, give me a break. All right. Benigno, the OhThePainPodcast. The pain is unbelievable. I am pumped up about the Mets. Let's get our sponsors in here. Hackensack Brewing Company will let you know sometime in July will be the next live podcast. We'll give you the exact time when it happens. Like I said, once the weather really breaks this week, finally, a nice day today. It's going to be 80 tomorrow. It's going to be 90 Wednesday. Thank God. Playing golf tomorrow. Can't wait, all of that. But, we'll let you know when the next live podcast is sometime in July. Now, if you need work done on your car, you know where to go. Need a discount tire, go see my son Johnny. Go see Ari, his boss, Rob, their outstanding mechanic. Whatever your automotive needs are. You need work done on your car. You need a car inspected. You need whatever it is, tires, whatever. I need a discount tire. Westwood Avenue, beautiful, Rivervale, New Jersey. Tell them I sent you. And, of course, our good friends at Manscaped, they'll be back with us soon. You want the illusion of extra inches. you know what you got to do. You got to go to Manscaped. They will take care of you. Now, I've been battling a little bit of a cold, so if this is my voice kind of going in and out, it's finally leaving me as I was sneezing my head off for a while. I think it's finally going out. Now I can't talk, but, maybe people think that's a good thing. I still try to sing. I won't right now, but my wife's happy about it. Because you know why she says that? Because she never knows what I might start singing. And most of the stuff I sing, she's not crazy about. So, my wife, in case you didn't know, my wife's all-time favorite song is The Lion Sleeps Tonight by the Tokens. We are mama way. I can't really do it. That was just for, I got to fill time here. What are you going to do? So anyway, let's get back to the Mets. Nice weekend. Take care of business against Colorado. 7-2 homestand. 37-22. Back in first place now in the NL East as the Phillies lost again yesterday. So the Mets have a one-game lead in the division. They go to L.A. to play the Dodgers 4. And let's not make too big a deal of this Dodgers series, okay? I mean, people are making a big, it's going to be a barometer. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. No. It's 4 more games in the internal 162-game regular season. It's really all it is. I'd love to see them split here. I'd be more than happy. Don't love the pitching matchup. Paul Blackburn's pitching tonight. He hasn't pitched all year. You figure the Dodgers are going to light him up. And then you got Tyler McGill, and then you got Griffin Canning. You can't be happy. And I know the Dodgers pitching has been banged up. You can't be happy with those guys pitching against the Dodgers. If they win one of those 3 games with those guys pitching, you got to be happy. Ohtani will probably lead the game off with a home run tonight against Blackburn. But whatever. Don't like David Peterson's pitching the game Thursday. I would sign for a split right now. Mets took 2 out of 3 against them at home. I would sign for a split right now in L.A. without a doubt. But let's not make too much more of these games than they are. Now, the one thing, maybe, just maybe, Juan Soto is finally finding it. He had a good series against the Rockies. I know the Rockies, they stink. I understand. He had that 2-run. He had that RBI double on Friday. He hit a home run on Saturday. He hit a home run again yesterday. Maybe he's finally finding it. And even his demeanor, even his body language has looked a lot better, He really has. He looks like he's, I don't know, he just looks like he's back to having confidence at the plate, which we didn't really see for a while. I mean, he looked like he was almost a deer in the headlights for a while. So maybe Soto's finally finding it. They had a nice win yesterday where all their big guys hit home runs. Lindor hit a home run. Pete hit a home run, 3-run homer, and Soto. By the way, how about this stat, Met fans? What is it? I believe it's 26 consecutive games that the Mets have won when Lindor hits a home run. I think it's 26 straight games. When he hits a home run, they win. I think it's 26 straight games now that has happened. So, you got to be happy about that. Another solid game yesterday by Senga. Pitched well into the 7th. Well, that was Saturday. He pitched well into the 7th inning. He actually got 7 solid innings out of Clay Holmes yesterday. Those are their 3 best pitchers. David Peterson, Kodai Senga, and Clay Holmes. Those are the 3 best pitchers that the Mets have right now, as my voice continues to betray me. But those are the 3 best pitchers that the Mets have right now. And like I said, the 3 pitchers out of the 4 games pitching in L.A., I can't feel too good about them. Blackburn stinks, McGill stinks, and Canning's coming back to reality. So let's hope that they win one of those 3 games. Peterson's pitching the 4th game, and we'll see what happens from that point on. But thank God for the Mets. And again, don't make too much of this series. You got Met fans that want to, it's 162 games. Relax. This team's going to be in the playoffs, win the division, and we'll see what happens from that point on. That's the bottom line right now as we go into June. 37-22. Every Met fan in creation would have signed for that. Got a 1-game lead in the division over Philadelphia. Maybe Soto's finally starting to find it. Let's be happy about it, okay? Let's be happy, Met fans, about where we are right now. All right? Let's not get crazy if they lose, even if they lose 3 out of 4 here to the Dodgers, let's not make a bigger deal about it than it really is. And then they go to Colorado after that. So, by the way, I get a text, and we got to want to check this out. Just make sure. I'm pretty sure Scheffler won yesterday at the Memorial. Sure. Just make sure, because I actually was watching the Women's U.S. Open yesterday at Erin Hills in Wisconsin. You talk about a difficult golf course. I know Brooks Koepka won the U.S. Open there about 8 years ago. You talk about a difficult golf course. Oh, my God, that place. Wide open, links course, million bunkers. The greens are brutal. Green's not holding anything. A young lady by the name of Maya Stark won the Women's U.S. Open yesterday. She's from Sweden. Good job by her. So I was watching that, pretty much thinking that Scheffler had the Memorial won. How many strokes did he win by? How many?
10 under.
And then what was the next?
Griffin was next with 6 under.
6 under. So Scheffler won by 4 strokes. Scotty Scheffler has now, I think he's won 3 of the last 4 tournaments he was in. He won the Byron Nelson a few weeks ago, right? Won that one. He hadn't won it all year, and he won that. Then he wins the PGA, pretty much going away, right? At Quail Hollow. So he wins the PGA, and now he wins the Memorial, Jack Nicklaus's tournament in Columbus, Ohio, Dublin, Ohio. So he's actually won 3 of the last 4 starts. Clearly the best golfer in the world. I mean, is there even a doubt about that with Scheffler? And we'll see if he can win the U.S. Open next weekend. Pump for that. That'll be at Oakmont. We'll see. I got a feeling I'm picking DeChambeau to win that because he's come close now in the first 2 majors, even though he didn't win. He was in the final pairing with Rory at the Masters and then kind of fell apart. Wound up finishing second to Scheffler, tied for second to Scheffler at the PGA, even though he kind of crapped out at the end there too. I'm picking DeChambeau to win here next week in Oakmont for the U.S. Open. So we'll see. But right now, Scotty Scheffler, just off the freaking charts. Clearly the best golfer in the world. It's not even close. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Wouldn't it be something if Scheffler wins the U.S. Open and the British Open this year, right? And the PGA to win the Grand Slam? That would be crazy.
Ben Griffin.
He's been good. Ben Griffin's been good. He won last week, and he finished second this week.
Yeah.
No, he's been good.
Yeah.
New name in golf, Ben Griffin. Keep an eye on this guy. Yeah. Maybe he got something going finally now. But Scheffler's just, he's really off the charts. But I'm just getting back to Joey T, who really needs help. I mean, that's no other way to say it. I mean, he texts me. Yeah, he's always complaining about the Mets. Always. Thank God he should be. Thank God Joey's not a Knicks fan. He doesn't care about the NBA. I'm happy about that because he'd be jumping off a bridge somewhere with the Knicks. But he texts me today. Oh, training camp is just around the corner. I don't really give a shit. I'm sorry. I could care less. You think I give a damn that training camp is coming up? Who cares? Wake me up when the season starts, okay? The summer's here. Let's enjoy the summer. Joey, how about working on your tan? How about getting a date, How about that? Please. He's worried about the Jets. Stop. Oh, my God. Just enjoy the Mets. Enjoy the summer with the Mets. That's all you can do. They play 162 games, right? Enjoy how good they are. That's it. I don't know how else to say it. Or even if you're a Yankee fan, they beat the Dodgers yesterday after they got just destroyed 18-2 the day before. But what does it really mean? The Yankees are going to run away with the American League East. It stinks. They're going to easily win that division. If you're a Yankee fan, enjoy the summer. What else can you do? You can't win the World Series in June, right? You can't win the World Series in July or August or September. Enjoy the summer. Enjoy how good your team is. If you're a Met fan or a Yankee fan, that's all you can do. That's it. 2 teams that are very good. They're going to make the playoffs. Chances are good they're both going to win the division when all is said and done. And we'll worry about October when October gets here. It's a 162-game season. All you can do is enjoy the ride. That's it. What else can you do? So take it as it is. They haven't even played 100 games yet, right? How many? Haven't even got to the halfway point of the season. How many games the Mets have played? 59. 59 games so far. So there's only 103 games left. I mean, come on. You got to just sit down and enjoy it, and that's it. You know, whether you're a Met fan or a Yankee fan, they're both very good teams, and just enjoy the ride. You can't worry about October until October gets here. No other way to say it. Really, really can't. One more thing from the Mets. How about Brett Beatty? How about how this guy has really turned it around? You know, it's funny. Vientos is going into the tank, right? He really is. You know, and I was worried about Vientos coming into this season. I didn't think he was any lock to do what he did last year, and he has been not been good. And isn't it funny? Just as Vientos has gone one way, Beatty now is going the other. And not only has Beatty hit, but he's playing like, you know, Greg Nettles, Brooks Robinson, you know, that kind of a Clete Boyer, that kind of a third base. He's been tremendous defensively. So how about Beatty? You know, he really has been good, no doubt about it. And I want to give a shout out to another guy, Tyrone Taylor. How good is he? Who gets more big hits than Tyrone Taylor? I mean, it's unreal. And he's tremendous defensively in center field. He's such an underrated guy on this team. He really is. And the other guy that I got to give a lot of love to is Luis Torrens, who is clearly, I mean, you're a Met fan. Is there any question about the fact that Luis Torrens is clearly better than Francisco Alvarez? Are you sick and tired of watching Alvarez never get a big? Whatever happened to this guy? 2 years ago, he had 25 home runs. We thought we had another Johnny Bench on our hands, right? Right? At least Gary Carter, you know, that kind of guy. What happened to him? What, he hit 7 homers last year? He's got 1 homer this year. He stinks. Torrens is better. I'll take Torrens every day of the week. Not to mention that Torrens is as good as anybody throwing runners out, right? Behind the plate. So, and you're seeing Mendoza play him more. Torrens is better than Alvarez. He really, a lot better. As a matter of fact, if I would not mind seeing the Mets send Alvarez back to the minor leagues, maybe he gets straightened out, and bring this guy up. What's his name? Stenger, whatever his name was, that was playing when Alvarez was hurt, right? I'd bring him up, let him back up Torrens. Torrens is better. Just the truth. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's a lot better. And, you know, Ronnie Mauricio has been really killing it down in the minor leagues. How long till he's here? If I'm Mark Vientos, I better start hitting soon, because you may have your ass back down in AAA again with the way Mauricio has been killing it. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And one other thing too, all right? How good is Edwin Diaz, right? How good is he? 13 for 13 now in save situations. Locked it down again yesterday. Gave up a hit and then struck the side out. He may, in all due respect to John Franco, to Tug McGraw, Jesse Orosco, he may be the Mets' best closer ever. He may very well be that guy. And you know, if the Mets are ever going to win that championship, ever going to win that World Series, Edwin Diaz is going to be the guy on the mound to close it out. So we'll see. But again, my message to all Met and Yankee fans: can't win the World Series in June. Enjoy the ride. We got 2 really good teams here, and let's just enjoy it as we go. All right? Memo to all the New York baseball fans. Enjoy the weather. My voice is cutting out on me, so I'm cutting out too. Enjoy the weather. Hang in there, Knicks fans. All right? Don't worry. As long as I'm walking the earth, they're never winning a championship. So just understand that, and you'll be okay. All right? Because no team that I root for has given me more playoff pain than the Knicks. And remember, celebrate today the 32-year anniversary of the Charles Smith Memorial. Mike Vaccaro, it's not the Charles Smith game. It's the Charles Smith Memorial. I'm going to call him up now and straighten him out. Have a great week. Enjoy the weather. Summer weather finally coming here now. Thank God for that. If you're playing golf this week, enjoy it. I'll be playing tomorrow. And as always, all the love. And of course, God bless the greatest country in the world. God bless America.